Alright, gang, welcome back to our Skyefin Aquafarm series here on Kinlaig? I don't know, still not going to get that name right no matter what I do. Inside where we've been sleeping at in here with the fishes, as I mentioned in the last episode, and they are swimming around nicely. As a matter of fact, they're out of fish food right now, so they're not making any more right now, but there are plenty in there, just not enough to put them in another box for us to go and sell. Now, we have $18,000 right now to our name, and this morning I've already been hard at work here stacking these up. I just got to stack these last two. And I found somewhere else that I think I want to try to aim to get here relatively soon. We're going to have to do some contracts, obviously, to get there, and we're going to continue to sell these fish probably for a little bit longer, and then hopefully we'll be able to make some progress on being able to do something else with at least part of the fish, more specifically the trout. Or is it the salmon? I don't know. I don't remember. Either way, there's an option for us to potentially do that, but we have to get some land to be able to do that. Also, I figured out, what's kind of going on with this area. I thought when I purchased this, I bought all of this land. I don't. All of this land is actually owned by the city. I do own what's in here, obviously, but I don't own anything else. So the rest of this, I can't really do anything with it. And that's why I wasn't able to put anything down the other day. Pretty obvious. That's the reason why, but now we know for sure that I don't actually own this land, which is what I thought when I was purchasing it. That's what I thought. So I misunderstood the lease agreement, I guess, or the purchase agreement, I guess. But that's okay. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. We are going to take a quick, short mini drive here. We're going to hang a left up here at this corner instead of going where we normally do to the sell point, because there's an area up here that I want to buy. And buying this land up here will allow us to be able to put down a pond, if you will, and we could put some of our fish, not both of them. I think it might be salmon now that I'm saying it. I don't remember. It's either salmon or trout, one of the two. You're going to be able to put down in a pond up here, which is significantly cheaper than doing the aqua farm out in the water, which we will do eventually, don't get me wrong, but right now we just try to make, figure out ways to make ourselves some money. But it does allow you, let me get to it here, hold on. Here it is, agriculture. So we've got this fish lake, which allows us to put, that looks like trout to me. And then you've got, obviously, the agricultural, the offshore agriculture, which is what our goal is going to be eventually, but that's $125,000. We don't have enough money for that. Plus, we also have to buy the boat, which the boat is outrageously expensive. So it's going to be a minute, unfortunately, before we actually are able to, start doing the offshore aquaculture, which is really where we want to get to, right? For this series, but this is a much cheaper option for us, at least initially on, to help us move along. Now, where we're at right now is some land that is for sale. Obviously, it's vacant. There's really nothing going on here, and we probably would remove a lot of the buildings on this, and it would open up a lot of space, which would allow us to put more of those ponds down or whatever else we decide to do, right? The actual piece of land itself it's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. It's $101,000. We currently have $18,000. We should get a nice payday once we sell these, but it's not going to get us to $101,000. So that's really where my goal is going to be at now for the time being, is trying to get there. Now, having said that, we do have to buy more fish food. We are out of fish food, right? So we're going to have to spend a lot more money on more fish food. So the way that we're going to have to get there is over the next couple of episodes, doing some contracts and continuing to try to pump more and more fish food into our production to make more and more fish. My understanding, and I don't know this for sure, and maybe if somebody's already done it, they can let me know in the comments, and if you haven't, that's fine. We'll figure it out together. My understanding is the more fish food I put into the aqua farm, the more fish you're actually going to produce. It's a better yield if you have more fish food in there versus not. If that makes sense, which if you think about it from a fish perspective, right, fish will just continue to eat over and over and over again. They don't care, right? So the more fish food you put in there, the bigger they're going to get, which means, well, then realistically, you're not going to lose any of the small ones, right? Because you do lose some fish. So that's kind of the theory behind that, I believe. So, but anyway, we're going to go sell these like we have been doing, and we're probably going to continue to do this selling for, another episode or two, I would think, before we really make any true progress on putting down that pond. But yeah, this is going to continue to produce for us as we move along. When we do get those ponds, I'm not sure if I will do both the salmon and the trout I may just go to trout only, as you saw there when I was going to put the pond down. It does appear that it's only trout. So we might, do away with the salmon, or maybe we do both still, and maybe we just utilize the salmon as just a direct sell for now, but we move the trout over, into our lake to try to get large or adult trout, right, which are going to pay us more money. We will see. But that's kind of where we're at right now. That's kind of where we're going. And then eventually, as mentioned, we will get to a point where we do the offshore aquafarm, which is really the main goal. We've got to get that, but we also have to do everything else. I told you that. We have to be self-sufficient, right? So everything we're doing as far as fish farming goes, we need to do all the options. So we have to have the lake, which we should hopefully have soon enough. We've got to buy the fish food factory down here. We've got to buy the boat to be able to go out to do the aquafarm. We've got to put the aquafarm down. So there's a lot, right? And to do all that, right, to get the fish food, specifically to be self-sufficient, we've got to have a field that can do canola, wheat, or something to make flour. And I don't remember what the other one was now. I'm blanking on what the other one was now. What was the other one? I'm gonna pull here for a second. Let me look. Soybeans. So we got to have something they can do. We can make flour out of. So we have to have a mill of some sort so we can make flour. Right? There's a lot of things we have to do here to accomplish that. And I did say, at least from the perspective of the fish portion, we're not allowed to utilize any specific mods for that. So in other words, I have to buy that feed right there. I can't just put down a mod that comes out here in weeks, months, whatever it is, that's cheaper. I have to buy that one. Now, as far as the mills and things go like that, I absolutely 100% can put down cheaper ones if I want to. And we probably will. So it was $28,154 right there. Not really a ton of money, but it's money nonetheless. And again, don't forget, we are playing on hard difficulty, so that is part of our problem right now, right? Go on, drive. Drive. Please. Thank you. What are you so nervous about? What are you doing? This dude, I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Just get me out of the way. Your little three-wheeled car. Get me out of here. So, that's the goal here. That's where we're going. That's what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do. As I mentioned in the past, and I just wanted to reiterate it one more time. That's kind of what we're doing here. So I think the pond makes a lot of sense because that's going to make us a lot more money. It might be beneficial, as I mentioned, to just scratch the whole salmon for the time being and only focus on the trout. Just specifically because they're going to be able to be turned into large trout, which is going to make us more money, right? So, we'll see when that time comes. We're obviously not near that right now, and we're not going to be near that for a little while, but, we'll see. Contract-wise today, what do we got? There's quite a few things out here, so we're probably going to do some of these. Woo! Sorry, gang, I'm still dealing with the controller here, unfortunately. I'm going to be, it won't be any kind of a harm to any of you. What I mean by harm is you won't notice, but I'm going to be out of town this weekend. So I'm kind of waiting until I get back. I don't want to order it and then have it delivered and I'm not here and I can't get it and somebody steal it off the front porch or whatever. So I'll order it on my way back maybe or something. Hopefully we'll resolve that, hopefully. Okay, so we've got a couple options out here. We could get this plow, actually. 260 horsepower. I don't remember how much horsepower do we have on this. I don't even remember. 145, so not quite enough. But I know I have utilized that in the past with less horsepower, and it still worked. That might be something to consider right there, gang. That might be something to consider. Is there any plowing contracts out? There's two. There's a big one that would basically pay for the plow. I mean, we could just lease their plows, though. I mean, I don't really love these. Those are the kind of plows I like, are the ones that are kind of pull behind versus the, like the straight traditional plows. I think they're more difficult to do, personally. A lot of harvesting ones. All the harvesting ones are for crops that do take, excuse me, take a long time to do. Fertilizing, of course, but, you know, we got to, I'm losing my voice for a second here, gang. I apologize. But we've got to, you know, buy our own fertilizer if we're going to do that, which is, you know, another expense, if you will. All right, well, let's buy some fish food right now. We definitely need that first and foremost. So let's do that. Where are we going? There we go. Food and fish food pallet. 18,000 for me to get a max amount. Actually, plus options. Why do we have options on? Base price 2,000. Oh, never mind. I mean, I think we did 5 last time. Which, I mean, is pretty much what we got back. We do have some trout in the... Well, we have some fish, I guess I should say. Trout and salmon in our aqua farm right now that are still kind of waiting to be spawned. They're almost enough to spawn another pallet, but it wasn't. So we technically got a little bit more than we did. But really, we just kind of got back to square one. It's taking a lot of money doing this. And the land I want to buy, as I showed you, it's not cheap, right? $101,000. But if we are able to buy it, we can remove some of those buildings, which will recoup a little bit of the money we spent on that. Not all of it, but it will recoup some. I think we have to buy. I think we have to buy pretty much all of them here, gang. I think we have to. And then, you know, we'll have to. I think we got to buy all of them and then do some contracts, and then hopefully by the next episode we'll have enough money to maybe get that plot of land, right? That's by far the most we've bought to date. So, I mean, I think we have to do it. I really do. I think it's the smartest play for us. I mean, that's really the only thing making us money right now anyway. Still borrowing this. Nobody's yelled at me yet. I think I'm the only one utilizing it down there. So until they yell at me, I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, eventually, probably whenever the time comes for us to do the aqua farm, we'll probably have to move this back down there. Or we just use the, I know the boat that you buy to move your fish. It has a crane on it. So I think you could use the crane for you know, to move stuff as well instead of using something like this. But this would be probably a little bit easier to manage than the crane would be. It's probably going to take me a minute to understand how the crane works and how to utilize it properly, right? Just like everyone else. All right, let's lock that in, or strap that in, rather. I guess I should have the beacon on for this, too. I'm doing stuff you normally would. Perfect. Let me put this back. All right, we are good to go, and we can head on our way. All right, all the fishies are in there. And we're back up and operational again. So I'm going to move this out of the way because it's kind of in the way of where they would spawn at. So let's just get this out of the way. Now, as far as the city said, I don't think they've said anything about me not being able to utilize, you know, parking stuff in here. So I'm going to continue to utilize it like it's you know, my land, even though I can't, you know, technically build anything on it. We're just going to still utilize it to store things until we are able to, you know, maybe potentially, as I mentioned, purchase the you know, fields, well, plot 71, I guess is what I should say, not field, plot 71, right? But we got a ways to go before we get there. Now, what are we going to do? Well, there's a couple things we can do. One, I think what I want to do is potentially buy this. Even if we're struggling with it right off the bat, I do think I want to buy it because it's going to be useful for us as we continue on, right? We're going to have to get fields, as I mentioned, right, to do all the things we need to do to be able to make the fish food. So we're self-sufficient. We're doing it all ourselves, right? So I do think I want to get that. Now, we are a little short on money. There's a couple things we could do. One thing we could do is do a contract, which I'm considering doing right now. We probably will do a contract at some point. The other thing we can do is kind of what we started the last episode with, is go out there and do a few more things of fishing. Now, I do know a few people made some comments. I haven't had a chance to reply to those comments yet, but I did read those briefly, and they were, you know, talking about how they didn't realize you could get such large fish, and my understanding with the fishing, and I'm not perfect at it, so don't expect me to be, but my understanding with the fishing is that the further you cast the line, the better chance you have at getting a bigger fish, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it too, right? If you're casting it in a shallow area, you're only going to get certain fish. You're not going to be able to get big, massive fish because it's going to be too shallow for them to be in, right? So I think it really all depends on how far you cast it out on your ability to get anything bigger. Now, somebody said that they got a rock or something, or a shoe or something, and I haven't got that yet, so that would be something new for me as well, but we'll figure it out as we go down here. As I said, it is a little difficult to fish because you got to keep that line in between there, and it's hard to, you know, not lose, if you will. So let's see if we can fish here real quick and see what happens. And now the camera's acting up. Of course it's acting up right when I'm trying to fish. Of course it is. Well, I've seen a stranger fish. Which, wait a second. Okay, so that was the first one that I've got that was kind of a fail. That was a trophy fish for a fake fish to go on the wall, I guess. But I figured, you know, let's fish one or two times here and see if I can get myself a little bit of money. Is it going to give me the 9,000? Probably not. We're probably going to do another contract, but let's just see if I can get anything large here, because I don't know if there's anything larger than what I got or not. There may not be. But I would think if you find like a big massive tuna or something, that's going to pay you a lot of money, right? I'm not sure if we would find a big massive tuna this far in here, but probably not, honestly. Okay, that's the second time I've lost in a row. The floor's wet after all. Man, I'm finding all kinds of stuff. Maybe I was incorrect in my statement. The further you throw it out there, the better stuff you can get. Because that's twice in a row that I've got nothing. Go take those to the pawn shop. Make a few bucks off of them, maybe. Okay, we keep getting the same thing here. Maybe I'm throwing it out too far. Maybe there is such a thing as it's too far away. That's weird. I mean, the last episode we started off and I made a killing. Perhaps it's the time of the day that you fish too? I mean, that would make sense in real life if it's the time of the day, right? A very impressive salmon. We'll sell for $200. Okay, this isn't working. We're going to do a contract. I'm not going to sit there and fish to try to get to $9,000. That's just not going to work. So, all right, what do we got? What do we got contract-wise? Let's see what we can get into here. I mean, the fertilizing contract is really, you know, something to think about. Like, that's the way to go, probably. Maybe I buy a small fertilizer. Because there's some good money here for fertilizing. And I do like doing fertilizing. I've mentioned that a number of times now. I know for a fact I have. What are we looking like here for fertilizer spreaders? What's the most inexpensive one we can get that's, you know, holds a decent amount? 300 liters is just, that's just not going to cut it. I guess what we could do, though, is we could buy that, take the trailer, and we could hook it to the front of the tractor, the fertilizer spreader, and then obviously switch it around whenever we get to wherever we're going, and then have the fertilizer on the back of, you know, the trailer, and we could just continue to fill it back up. It seems a little counterproductive to do that, but, you know, it's an option. This one's slightly more expensive and has, you know, triple the capacity. This is the one we're utilizing still in the Adventure Survival. I don't normally like to utilize the same ones, but since that series will be ending very soon, perhaps that's the one to go with, because it is cheaper than this one, and it holds a significant amount more. I don't think I would worry about the expansion, although the expansion is only $250 more. All right, we're going to go that. We're going to go that approach. Maybe not the smartest approach, but that's what we're going to go with. We've got to buy a bag of fertilizer still, too, which is, you know, not going to be cheap, or at least a pallet of fertilizer, I guess is what I should say. That whole pallet should fit into it. Hopefully that's enough for us to do some of these contracts. Hopefully it's enough for us to do, you know, 2 contracts. I guess we could buy 2 of them. We still have enough money to buy a second one. But only just do we have enough money to buy a second one, right? Only just. Woo. Sorry, gang. The camera is acting up again. Alright, so... I mean, I feel like I should just do all of them, right? I mean, we're not making a ton of money off of this. We're really not, unfortunately. I wish I could say we were, but we're just simply not. That's why I was kind of skeptical about, you know, buying as many of the fish food as I did, but I do think that's the only way we're actually going to even have a chance to get there here the next episode or 2. And I say there, I mean buying that land so we can actually start producing adult trout, which if we go look at the prices here, let's do that really quick, because that's going to give you a full transparency here of what we're dealing with, right? Are they going to be under adult trout, or are they just going to be under trout? Looks like they're going to be down under a trout. Okay. Again, I'm going to ask this. I've asked this 1,000 times. For those of us that are not on PC, please give us the option to favorite things so they can go to the top of the thing. Please. Oh, they're just going to be called trout. Okay. So they go from, well, they're at best $2,415 versus $982. So, I mean, we're getting $1,500, almost $1,500 more. So yeah, that's 100% worth it to do that, I think, right? But at least we've got a new, we've got something else now. We do have a fertilizer spreader now that we actually own, which we can utilize for contract perspective, and then eventually probably our own. But for now, contract perspective, and that's going to help us out tremendously. Fertilizing is easy work. I enjoy doing it, and normally it's relatively decent money for what you're utilizing, right? You do have to spend a little bit of your own money on the fertilizer, but overall, it's pretty decent money normally. So, we've got 3 fields to fertilize here today, gang. One of them is, well, one of them is quite frankly just right around the corner from the shop. So that's probably the one we should probably do first. And then the other two are down in the bottom left. Well, I guess one's in the middle, but the other one's in the bottom left quadrant there of the map. So we're going to get to see some more of this map that we really haven't looked at yet, I guess. So that's a good thing too, right? I just don't know. I'm concerned that we're not bringing enough fertilizer with us, if that makes sense. I have a feeling that we're going to have to come back here and make another trip to get more. So maybe I should change my plan and go to the one that's further away. Okay, can you hook up, please? No? Just going to push into it. Okay, whatever. So my concern is, I go, I do this one. I guess I could buy more here, though, but then I'm going to have some that's just left here, though, because it's not going to fill it all the way back up, I don't think. It might, Here's, you know what? We're going to do it. This is probably the stupid idea, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to utilize it eventually. We've got $9 left. That's all we have is $9. So here's what we're going to do. So I filled that up. We're going to do, what is this? What's this field number? 6? Field 6. We're going to do field 6 first. Then we're going to come back here and fill this up again, top it off again. And then hopefully we have plenty to do both. Well, we should. We should have plenty to do both those fields. Now I'm going to leave the map on for this one because I normally don't. I don't like having... there's already enough stuff on the screen here. But normally, I don't really like to have a bunch of stuff on the screen because it takes away, I think, from, what you're watching. But, when it's a new map like this and we don't know it well enough to figure out where we're going, I'm going to have to probably leave the map on for the time being. So, plus, we're doing precision farming anyway, right? So we're going to kind of want to see it anyway. So, speaking of that, am I able to... I don't know if I can. I bet I can't with this thing. I can deactivate it, change application rate. So we want the lowest possible because we're doing contracts. So you can really bump that thing up. It can go really high as far as how much you're putting down. We don't really care that much about that. We want this to be as low as humanly possible. 18. Basically nothing. Now, how do I get into this field? I already see where I get into this field. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, that's that three-wheeled car again, causing mayhem. It's over here where I took the very first episode, I guess. I took a wrong turn, right? I went this way. It was over this way is how you get into this field. Bunch of Byrons in here. Is that the castle over there? Looks like the castle. I wonder if it's just like a park now or what it is, because there's people walking up to it. We'll have to go check the castle out at some point. Put the lines on for this one too. Alright, we're underway. So, like I said, it should be as little of a rate as possible. Although it says 37 now, but we told it to do 18, but maybe 37 is the bare minimum we can do. Either way, it's much lower than it would be if it was automatic. Automatic would be putting out an absolute way too much fertilizer. So, we're going to get to work. We've got 3 fields to do. It's going to take us a bit. We're going to make all of our money back that we paid for this, and so as we move forward doing more fertilizing contracts, it's already, paid for itself at this point, right? So those are good things. It's going to help us get to that end goal here of buying that land kind of around the corner from our aqua farm, which we then hopefully can expand our aqua farm production into pond fish. All right, well, I actually didn't stop at the shop and pick up more fertilizer. I have to. I saw how little we used in that first one. I thought we would have enough with just the pallet and a half that we put in here, and that is 100% the case. As you can tell, we still have 471 liters. We're not going to use 471 liters with what's remaining here of this one field. So this map just gets better and better, man. The more I drive through it, the more I look at it and see. I love it. There's a water mill over there. Look at that. I mean, this is the mountain in the background. It's a little creek. Waterfall on the way in. It's fantastic, man. This map is just one of the best, if not the best, I think Giants have ever made. That's my opinion. I don't know how you all feel about it, but that's my personal opinion. I think it's one of the best. It's got everything you want, man. It's got mountains. It's got that nice bridge that we saw early on. There's a waterfall, a little mini waterfall of the creek. There's a mill over here. You got the inlet there to the ocean, right? Let me go look at this mill really quick. This thing is pretty cool. That is pretty sweet. We'll have to come back over there and look at it, you know, a little bit closer later on. Maybe we'll take a trip at the beginning of one episode or something later on. All these fields are done, gang, so we can go ahead and turn these in. That's going to give us a decent amount of money back, pretty much where we started, and now we own a fertilizer spreader, along with pretty much near, it makes no difference, 1,000 liters of fertilizer still remaining to be able to utilize for another contract. The first gate I tried to close, and I'm sure you noticed it on the time lapse there, but it was not closing for me. Similar to this one. This one's not wanting to close. I don't know. Some of them will not close once you get to a certain, for whatever reason. I don't understand. I've tried both sides. I tried the gate with the hatch. I've tried going out here like you normally would, and yeah, they're not closing. So I don't know. I don't know. There's something wrong there, but yeah, I always like to try to close the gates, right? I don't want to keep the gates open. I like, just like a worker wouldn't want, or a farmer wouldn't want to have his gates open, right? He'd want to have them closed. But yeah, for whatever reason, it's not letting me do it. So let's head back here, and we'll just do a little bit more scenic view on the way back, because we have not been up this area at all. There's a broken down old house up there, it looks like. This map is it's one of the best, man. I think actually we were over here early on. Yeah, there's that that quarry over there in the distance. You can kind of see it with the pipe coming out. So I guess we have been, but just not over on this side of that area. So, oops. Also, I ran into Karen before we went into that field. Just getting in the way. We haven't really had a whole lot of involvement with Karen. It's actually it's normally Scarlett and Byron and Walter that are the biggest issues. Every once in a blue moon, it's Alfred, but those are normally the guys and the girl, I guess, that are causing issues for us, running into us, stopping, just blatantly, randomly stopping for some reason. Anyway, there's a lot more of this land to explore that we haven't been to. Like way up there, we haven't been. I don't know. Maybe we can't get up there. Can we get up there? Yeah, we can get up there. I mean, we haven't even been up there, so I don't know what's up there. This is one of the best, if not the best, as mentioned. I truly believe that. And here we're back to the bridge here. I love this bridge, man. I wish this gas station wasn't right here next to it, but I do love this bridge. Kind of intrudes on the view a bit. Well, I guess it does. I guess it depends on where you're at. If you're over there, it kind of intrudes on the view a bit. I'm sure that house hated it, right? They've got a wonderful view looking at that bridge, and now there's a gas station right to the right. I'm sure they hated when that happened. Anyway, we are going to leave the episode at this point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, and you have yet to do so, smash that like and subscribe button for me. They're free, and they help me out more than you could possibly imagine. It's the best way to help me out. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. There's a link down below if you want to become a member. Early access to videos like this one, among other perks, like a members-only series that we do once a month. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. It means the world, man. We'll see you next time.